Welcome, Clear Speak Academy channel. Story: The Whispering Oak. In the quaint village of Thistledown, surrounded by golden meadows and winding streams, there stood a mighty old oak tree in the center of the village square. It was known as the Whispering Oak because, on quiet days, people claimed it murmured secrets to those who listened closely. Children played beneath its shade, lovers carved their initials into its bark, and elders sat beneath its sprawling branches, telling tales of long-forgotten times. But no one knew the full truth about the tree, except for one man, Thomas Rayne, the village carpenter. Thomas was a quiet man who had lived in Thistledown all his life. He rarely spoke unless spoken to, and his workshop was filled with the scent of fresh pine and the sound of soft chiseling. Many thought of him as just a skilled craftsman, but there was something unusual about him. Every evening, just as the sun dipped behind the hills, Thomas would sit beneath the whispering oak and speak to it softly, as if it were an old friend. One spring morning, a group of children approached him as he carved a wooden bird in his shop. "Mr. Rayne," said little Elsie, "is it true that the whispering oak talks?" Thomas looked at her with kind eyes and smiled. "It doesn't speak with words like you and I," he said. "But if you sit still and truly listen, you'll hear what your heart needs to know." The children giggled, thinking it was just another one of his stories, and ran off. But one boy, Liam, the blacksmith's son, stayed behind. He had always felt a little lost, unsure of who he was or what he wanted. His father expected him to learn the forge, but Liam's heart longed for something else, he just didn't know what. That night, Liam crept out and sat beneath the whispering oak. He waited. The wind rustled through the branches, and the leaves shimmered like silver under the moonlight. At first, all he heard was the night. But as the minutes passed, a gentle hush surrounded him. Then came a whisper, not in words, but in feeling. A warmth in his chest, a sudden calmness in his mind. He didn't understand it, but he felt something stir deep within. He began visiting the tree every evening. Over time, Liam started helping Thomas in the workshop. He discovered he had a natural talent for carving animals, leaves, even faces. With each piece, he felt more himself. One day, Thomas handed him a small wooden box. "I want you to have this," he said. Liam opened it to find a tiny carving of the whispering oak, intricate and beautiful. "Why?" he asked. Thomas looked at him and said, "Because you listened, not just to the tree, but to your own heart. That takes courage." Years passed, and Thomas grew old. The time came when he could no longer hold his tools with steady hands. He called Liam to his side and said, "The whispering oak has been here long before us. It guided me, just as it's guiding you. But remember, Liam, it doesn't choose. You do. It only helps you hear what you've buried inside." Thomas passed away peacefully that winter, and the village mourned the loss of a quiet soul who had always been there. Liam took over the workshop. But more than that, he became someone others turned to, just as they had once turned to Thomas. People came not just for carved signs or furniture, but for advice, for a listening ear, for wisdom. And every evening, he still sat under the whispering oak, now with children of his own, teaching them to listen, not to the world, but to themselves. Moral of the story: the answers we seek often lie within. But it takes patience, silence, and courage to truly listen to our hearts. Thanks for watching.